The restaurant went quiet. Not the comfortable quiet of a family celebration, but the kind of silence that follows a bomb dropping. My sister Maya's mouth hung open mid-sentence, her story about her leased Honda Civic suddenly forgotten. My mother's fork clattered against her plate. My father's face had gone from birthday party pink to ash gray in exactly 2.3 seconds. I took another sip of my Pinot Noir and watched the dominoes fall. The mortgage, Uncle James continued, oblivious to the tension, on that beautiful house on Maple Street. The one you bought 10 years ago. Your mom told me you just made the final payment last month. I'm so proud of you. My mother's eyes darted to me, then to my father, then back to Uncle James. Dad, she said carefully, I think you're confused. Confused? Uncle James laughed, pulling out his phone. I have the photos right here from when you sent them. Look, the house with the blue shutters. You said it was such a milestone for the family. I set my wine glass down with deliberate care. Actually, Uncle James is right. I paid off the mortgage on March 15th. 30 days early actually. Saved $3,200 in interest. Maya found her voice first. What house? You live in that apartment on 4th Street. No, I said calmly. You think I live in that apartment on 4th Street? I actually own the house at 847 Maple Street. Have since 2015. My father's hand trembled as he reached for his water. That's not possible. We would have known. Would you? I met his eyes steadily. When's the last time either of you asked where I actually lived? Or visited me? Or showed any interest in my life that didn't involve comparing me unfavorably to Maya? The table fell silent again. Around us, other diners continued their conversations, oblivious to the family implosion happening at table 12. My mother recovered first, forcing a bright smile. Sweetheart, I think there's been some miscommunication. You can't possibly own a house. You work at that little nonprofit. You make what, $30,000 a year? $42,000, I corrected. But you've never asked, so you wouldn't know. And yes, I own the house. Right now. Would you like to see the deed? I pulled my phone from my purse, opened my documents folder and placed it on the table. The property deed showed my name, Alexandra Catherine Morrison, as sole owner. Purchase date, June 3, 2015. Original mortgage, $330,000. Current balance, $0. Uncle James beamed. See? I told you she was doing great. The house has appreciated too, hasn't it, Alex? You mentioned it's worth nearly $500,000 now. $485,000 according to the last appraisal, I confirmed. The neighborhood's really grown. Maya grabbed my phone, scrolling through the documents with increasing desperation. This doesn't make sense. Where did you get $330,000? Did you steal it? Are you in debt? I took my phone back. I put down $150,000 and financed the rest. Paid it off over 10 years with my salary, bonuses and investment returns. No debt. No theft. Just careful planning and budgeting. $150,000? My father's voice cracked. Where did you get $150,000 for a down payment? Grandma Morrison's trust fund. The one she left me when I turned 25. Remember? You said I'd probably waste it on frivolous things. My mother's face flushed. That money was supposed to be for emergencies. Buying a home seemed like a pretty solid investment to me. Grandma certainly thought so. She specifically mentioned in her will that she hoped I'd use it for building a real foundation, unlike some family members who might spend it on appearances. The barb landed. My mother had blown through her inheritance from Grandma Morrison in 18 months on a kitchen renovation, a trip to Europe, and a Mercedes she traded in 2 years later. But why didn't you tell us? Maya demanded. Why would you keep something like this secret? I folded my hands on the table. Because I knew exactly what would happen. You would have found a way to make it about you. Or you would have asked for money. Or you would have told me I was making a mistake. So I didn't tell you. That's not fair, my mother protested. We're your family. Are you? The question hung in the air. Because family usually knows where each other lives. Family asks about each other's lives. Family doesn't spend every gathering comparing one child favorably to the other. Uncle James shifted uncomfortably. Maybe we should order dessert. No, I said quietly. I think we should address this. Mom, when's the last time you called me just to talk? Not to ask me to babysit for Maya or to complain about something, but just to see how I was doing. Silence. Dad, when's the last time you asked about my job? My hobbies? My life? More silence. Maya, when's the last time you introduced me as your sister without adding some qualifier about how I'm the quiet one, or the simple one? Maya looked away. I bought that house in 2015. It's been 10 years. In that time, you've visited Maya's apartment 17 times. I counted because she posts every family visit on Instagram. You've never once asked to see where I live. My mother's eyes glistened. We thought, you lived in that small apartment. We didn't want to make you feel bad by asking about it. By acknowledging my existence. I took another sip of wine. That's interesting logic. This is ridiculous, Maya snapped. So you have a house. Congratulations. Do you want a medal? Some of us have actual achievements to celebrate. Like a leased Honda Civic? I interrupted. Or that promotion to assistant manager you've been bragging about for 6 months. Both of which are great accomplishments, by the way. I'm genuinely happy for you. I just wish the same courtesy extended both ways. Uncle James cleared his throat. For what it's worth, Alex, your grandmother would be very proud. She always said you had a good head on your shoulders. Thank you, Uncle James. That means a lot. My father finally spoke, his voice strained. So what now? You've made your point. We didn't know about your house. We're sorry we didn't ask more questions. Can we move past this? I considered this. Here's the thing, Dad. This isn't just about the house. The house is a symptom. It's about 10 years of being invisible in my own family. 10 years of every achievement being dismissed or ignored while Maya's smallest accomplishment gets celebrated. 10 years of being the afterthought. That's not true, my mother insisted, but her voice lacked conviction. Mom, you forgot my birthday last year. You sent Maya a dozen roses and took her to brunch. You sent me a text 3 days later saying, sorry, been busy. At Maya's graduation party, you introduced me to your friends as the other one. Not by name. The other one. My mother's face crumpled. When I got my promotion to program director 2 years ago, which by the way came with a $15,000 raise, I called to tell you. You said, that's nice, honey, and spent the next 20 minutes telling me about Maya's new boyfriend. Alex, Maya whispered, I didn't know. Of course you didn't know. Because you never asked. None of you did. I became a ghost in my own family, and you know what the worst part was? I started to believe that was all I deserved. I stood, placing my napkin on the table. But I don't believe that anymore. I built a life you know nothing about. I have friends you've never met, hobbies you've never asked about, achievements you've never celebrated. And I did it all without your validation, your approval, or your support. Where are you going? My mother asked, panic creeping into her voice. Home. To my house. The one I own. The one you didn't know existed. I picked up my purse. Uncle James, thank you for being the only family member who's shown genuine interest in my life. I really appreciate it. Uncle James nodded, looking uncomfortable but understanding. Alex, please, my father said. Don't leave like this. It's your mother's birthday. You're right. It is. I turned to my mother. Happy birthday, Mom. I got you a gift. It's the crystal vase you mentioned wanting. It's on the gift table with the others. I hope you like it. My mother's eyes filled with tears. Alex, I'm sorry. We're sorry. Can't we talk about this? We just did. And now I'm going home. I paused. If you'd like to see it sometime, my actual home, you're welcome to visit. You can call me to arrange it. You have my number. You've always had my number. I walked toward the exit, my heels clicking on the hardwood floor. Behind me I heard Maya say, she can't just leave like that. Who does she think she is? Uncle James's response carried clearly across the restaurant. Someone who finally realized she doesn't need your permission to exist. The valet brought my car around. A paid-off 2019 Toyota Camry, practical and reliable, just like everything else in my carefully constructed life. I drove home through familiar streets, pulling into the driveway of 847 Maple Street as the sun set behind the blue shutters. My house. My sanctuary. The place I'd built from nothing while my family had been too busy celebrating Maya's mediocrity to notice I'd been building an empire of one. Inside, my living room welcomed me with warm earth tones and comfortable furniture. Photos on the walls showed my real life. Hiking with my book club, volunteering at the animal shelter, celebrating with my friend group at my mortgage payoff party last month. A life full and rich and completely invisible to my family of origin. My phone buzzed. A text from Maya. You're being dramatic. Come back. Another from my mother. Please don't do this. We can work it out. Nothing from my father. I turned my phone face down and poured myself another glass of wine. Tomorrow I'd think about whether I wanted to rebuild those bridges. Tonight I'd celebrate what I'd built without them. 2 months later I hosted a housewarming party. My real friends came. The people who'd helped me move in 10 years ago, who'd celebrated every milestone, who'd known about my life because they'd bothered to ask. Uncle James came too, bringing his famous potato salad and genuine pride in his eyes. My parents weren't invited. Neither was Maya. They'd called a few times in the weeks after Mom's birthday, but the conversations always circled back to how I'd embarrassed them, how I should apologize, how families shouldn't keep secrets. They never quite grasped that they'd been keeping the biggest secret of all. The secret that I didn't matter to them. That I was set dressing in the story of Maya's golden life. As I stood on my back deck watching friends laugh and chat in the yard I'd landscaped myself, Uncle James appeared at my elbow. You doing okay, kiddo? Yeah, I said and meant it. I really am. Your grandmother would be proud. Not just of the house, of you standing up for yourself. I wish I'd done it sooner. You did it when you were ready. That's what matters. He paused. Your mom called me last week. Asked me to talk to you. And I told her I'd only do it if she was ready to really listen to you. To see you. Not just hear what she wants to hear. What did she say? She hung up. Uncle James shrugged. But she called back 2 days later. Said she's been thinking. Really thinking. About the last 10 years. About how invisible you've been. And she's not ready yet. But maybe someday. He squeezed my shoulder. Until then you keep building this life. It's a good one. I looked around at my home, my friends, my hard-won peace. It really is. The doorbell rang. More guests arriving, more people who knew me, really knew me, celebrating the life I'd built brick by brick while no one was watching. I went to answer it, leaving behind the family who'd never seen me and embracing the one I'd chosen. Ownership has a name. Mine. And finally I knew what that meant.